Hey you all, Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from the South, more specifically Gibsonton, Florida. And Gibsonton, Florida has a fascinating history. This is the home of the traveling carnival. This city in Florida is where all the performers, workers in the carnival would come on the off season when they weren't traveling the country, and this would be their winter home. And of course when they retired, they would often retire here to the lovely state of Florida and the lovely city of Gibsonton. And I am here in front of the most famous monuments here in Gibsonton, this giant boot right here. Now Al Tomaini was a giant. He was a circus performer, performed as a massive giant man, and he was a beloved civic leader here in the city of Gibsonton. And when he died, his wife, Jeannie, who also performed as the half girl, she did not have the lower half of her body, she would take one of Al's boots and place it on top of a pedestal and marked Gibsonton, Florida. So when you drove into Gibsonton, the first thing you saw was Al's actual giant boot sitting there on that pillar. Unfortunately, the weather here in Florida, the heat, the rain, over the decades, it would destroy Al's boot. And so he's had this giant, decaying, smelly boot be the first thing you see when you come into Gibsonton. So people started complaining, I don't know about having a giant dirty boot being the first thing that people see when they come to Gibsonton. And so they reached a compromise and they reconstructed the boot out of concrete. So here it sits to this day. Now, while we're here in Gibsonton, I wanted to check out the Showmen's Museum. It has kind of funny hours. I've tried to visit here before, but I believe it to be open today. So we're going to go over there and check out the museum. So follow me. So today we are going to check out the International Independent Showmen's Museum here in Gibsonton, Florida. Here is an exhibit on the little people that performed in the carnivals over the years. See a tiny little lady smoking a cigarette there. Two little boxers. It says this waistcoat here belonged to John Sally, who was a munchkin in The Wizard of Oz. And these were used in little person tap dancing routines. Here's a somewhat digital recreation of the Punch and Judy show, the famed puppet show. This is the show you heard and read so much about. They're basically two puppets beating the crap out of each other. Here's a tribute to Father Mac. Apparently he was known as the Carney Priest. It's an homage to some of the girly shows in the carnival, I guess being like burlesque shows or just general shows that show off sexy ladies. On stage, Gypsy Rose Lee, Broadway sensation. Sally Rand, the world famous fan dancer. Some dancing lady gear. This is the shake, rattle and roll oriental dancer. This would be the slinky outfits that they would wear. Here's my favorite part of the carnival, the sideshow. Here would be the talker who tried to get people into the sideshow. What does that say? Nurses and doctors admitted, no charge. Ah, that's a good promotional tactic. So he'd be out here telling you how amazing the show was inside. Come see nature's mistakes. Freak animals created by God, not by the hand of man. Oh, check this out. This shrunken head here was actually donated by Mike and Frank from American Pickers. This chair here belonged to Little Pete Terhune, who was a fire eater who was also a dwarf. Died in 2012, and I think he was performing pretty much up to the very end. It's a really cool sideshow gaff, Australian little people. See a little mummified person be created to show off in Sideshow to amazed patrons. Here's the monkey girl, Priscilla. She would actually marry the alligator skin man. They'd be known as the world's strangest couple. This mannequin, so it's clearly an homage to the king of freaks, Johnny Eck, who's famous for not having a lower body. Here's Ward Hall, king of the Sideshow Impresarios. This is Jeannie Tomani, the half girl, kind of the female equivalent of Johnny Eck. She also did not have a lower half to her body. This is Ashley, the four-legged girl. It says that she's actually still alive, born in 1972, and does not perform anymore. She actually retired to a quiet life. There's Big Jim, the fat man of the circus. And of course, you know, when you use your fat to make money, you are proud of that fact. So he had Fat Man on the back of his car. And there is a pair of his pants. Back there you can see another gaff, a Viking giant, big towering mummy. You'd want to come in and see for yourself. Viking giant. You can see these corresponding banners. The Viking giant kind of shows a living man right there, but when you get inside, you see the much different results. You get a petrified giant. And there's a banner for a two-headed princess. And here she is, Princess Luxura, the two-headed princess. She also comes in mummified form. Let's get a closer look there. Here's Daisy May, the two-nosed cow, presenting our beloved Daisy May, the two-nosed cow. One-star attractor for 17 years, died of old age. Neat trick for a cow, meaning most cows do not get to die from old age, they get eaten. But Daisy was saved by her two noses. And check her out. Daisy May there, you can see very clearly has two noses on her face. And there's her skull right there. You can see the deformation. Now this is really crazy for me, because believe it or not, about 10 years ago, at a carnival, the Mountain State Fair, I saw Daisy when she was still alive. I actually got a chance to see Daisy May. This was before I was doing videos, but I do have a photo that I took of the living Daisy May, the two-nosed cow. There is a Homer Tate gaff right there, a two-headed baby. Homer Tate is pretty much the king of the Sideshow gaff. Homer Tate would make like different little mummies, miniature little men, or Fiji mermaid type stuff. And you'd see these in carnivals or curiosity shops all over the country. Probably his most famous work is The Thing, the actual thing he created at the Thing attraction in Arizona. The Tochi twins can join wonders. And what would the carnival be without the food? Here's some antique hot dog steamers. And then down here, a big cotton candy machine. There's a peanut warmer, keeps the peanuts nice and toasty. This device will be used for making sugar waffles. And there's a corn dog cooker for deep frying corn dogs. We got down here some candied apples. Ew, gross. Moxie. This would be used for making popcorn. Little ice cream stand. They have fiddlesticks. I guess this is the fiddle stick maker right there. I never had a fiddle stick. I guess that is a fiddle stick right there. Looks pretty tasty. It's a milk jug, massive milk jug that will be used in magic tricks. You can see it locks the top. Famously done by Houdini. That was one of his trademark tricks, would be to seal himself in a giant milk jug. Be like a box for a magic show where you'd place your assistant, of course, in this box. Take out these saws, and then place them back in, and they would somehow not die. They'd be able to contort their body to be able to fit in there with all those blades. There's actually a little section here on minstrel shows, which, you know, of course, is a controversial topic where you know, African Americans may not have been portrayed in the best light. Here's some of the instruments used in the minstrel show. Here's a ride car. It's from a ride known as the Spitfire. You can see some pictures of it down there. It's a little ride vehicle from a little kid's boat ride. And this swan, this wooden swan, also used in a ride. You can see it used to go around in circles. Here's some medical equipment be used in a patent medicine show that would sell you different medicines, and then this machine would be marketed as a cure-all. There's different wands that would electroshock you and cure your ailments. It says this doll would be one that would be used as a prize for a carnival game. Some other toys and items that would be won as carnival prizes. You see the little monkeys, little liquor bottles shaped like clowns. Sky Fighter, that would be another ride. Usually I think that's like a plane that would spin around in a circle. Check this out, they have some fully constructed carnival rides in here. There is the merry-go-round, and then a fully constructed Ferris wheel. You can see it's actually slowly rotating. See, they got some mannequins going for a ride. Here's the ride operator, and you'd put your ticket in the Ducat box. So you'd operate the lever. You can see the mechanics of the Ferris wheel right there. See the father with his daughter there, riding the Ferris wheel. I saw a mummified Viking giant over there, but apparently there was a real living, breathing Viking giant, and this was his real costume right here. You can see he is quite large. I love all these old carnival rides that they have in here. See a little boat ride called the Hug-a-Tug. Check out that Sideshow banner, the Florida Monster. Looks like it was a giant python. It says it is 20 feet long. You can actually walk up into this old carnival wagon. Let's check this out. Oh, wow, I guess this would be like traveling office right here. They run the books. I guess the manager, this would be his private trailer. It's a very tiny little Ferris wheel style ride. It's got a clown on it. A child would be taken in a circle. Exhibit on Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. See some of the props be used in the classic Wild West show. Now, a little bit of a warning, because some of this can be a little disturbing, but this is the life shows where the pickled punks or preserved babies will be displayed. You see a $500 guaranteed reel, so they were serious about that. And here are some of the preserved babies. I won't get too close because these do look like they are real. I think that one right there is probably a fake gaff, the two-headed baby right there, but sometimes it's hard to tell which ones are real and which ones aren't. Interesting fact about the pickled punk shows where they had the fake babies was that they would outlaw showing, showing human remains at a carnival. And you know, they try to get around it, saying it was an educational exhibit. That would get them exempt in some states, but some states had strict laws, so they would start using fake babies. They'd use rubber babies in jars, and then they would get in trouble because they would tell people that the fake babies were real. So in some states, they would have to claim that the real ones were fake. In some states, they would have to claim the fake ones were real in order not to be accused of being frauds, if that makes any sense. This is Sportland on this banner here. It's been an archway into the Midway. The world's largest stallion is alive. Welcome to Nightmare Alley, featuring the mummy of Marie O'Day, preserved after death in the Great Salt Lake. $10,000 reward if it's not a real human body. Wonder where she is now. See these classic bumper cars right here. This would have been the ticket booth for the Tilt-A-Whirl. You can see that Tilt-A-Whirl logo still on there. Bunch of classic ride vehicles for various styles and types of rides. This would be the Tilt-A-Whirl style ride vehicle. And these here look like we're probably for a dark ride. You see the skull there, probably some sort of haunted attraction. Ancient sacrifices. Man versus reptile. Says that sign right there is actually a sign from the first ever Tilt-A-Whirl. Now that is impressive. Here's a cart from a Sky Wheel, a double Ferris wheel. It's a ticket booth or some sort of geek thing. Really clear on that. There's the helicopter from some sort of helicopter ride. And underneath it, this looks like this would have been for a dark ride. Looks like a generic version of the Doom buggy. Not sure what EOS stands for, but it's drippy blood font, so I'm thinking it's a dark ride. Some banners up there by the roof. It says Bloody Mama. Here it says, see the fantasies of pot? How do you do that? By smoking it? You can see the up there, Wolf Boy, 8 Boy, Devil Child. Those have been like Homer Tate, Gaffes. Here's some really old Carnival games. This is a spinning target. I guess you fire a rifle into the middle, and then the blade pops out, and you win that prize, which could be anything from a plastic harmonica to a dagger. These hammers here would be used for like hitting the poles to see how strong you are. This game is called Skillo. I wonder if it is some sort of game of skill. This is Bump Racer. You take this little car and bounce it off these springs, and then wherever your car stopped, you would get that prize. See the wonderful little prizes there. These are called scissor buckets, where you would throw a baseball underhanded trying to get it into the basket. These are punk rack dolls. These would be propped up. You try to knock them down with a ball. You still see these varieties of these in games sometimes. It also was popular to throw them at cats. Spill the milk. Of course, you would try to knock over some milk cans with a baseball, or try to get a baseball in a giant milk can. It's a full-sized game where I guess you compete with others to, I don't want to touch that, but I guess you make your bet and try to see who gets their rocket to space first. Fool the guesser. Try to guess your weight within 3 pounds, you're win a prize. So I guess you'd sit on that chair to see if they had guessed correctly. This is where you throw a nickel on the board trying to win a prize. Good old-fashioned hoop you'd throw around a stick. And it's something called Crazy Ball. This down here is Carnival chalkware. You'd win that as a prize back in the day, and it is highly collectible to this day. She'd spin this wheel of poodles Trying to land on a particular number. This is called the Devil's Bowling Alley, a hand crank operated device where you try to get a ball to the top. I guess the crank would raise or lower these chutes. It's a tap dance performer. Actually have a research library up here on top. All sorts of good information on the carnival. I always gotta love the clown mouth trash cans. You still see those sometimes in old style amusement parks. Oh my gosh, look at the size of this miniature circus. That is like a flume ride that you would ride a log to the bottom. Just noticed there is some unbelievably awesome looking dark ride called Mammoth Cave in the back. I would do anything to be able to go to this carnival for real. Let's see the roller coaster there. There's a haunted house dark ride called the Devil's Joyride back there. There's the traveling reptile show, and then right next to it is the Sideshow. You'd see all the traveling sideshow acts, the different freaks. And then next door to that, we have the Beauties on Parade, where you would go see some sexy ladies. All the little people enjoying the sideshow. Look at that hot dog stand with a hot dog person on top. World's largest turtle. All the people lining up to see the world's largest turtle. Yeah, I just can't believe the detail here and how many amazing little pieces to the circus there are. America's fattest man, 607 pounds. I think his record may have been beaten in modern times. There's a headless woman and she's still alive. Oh my gosh. World's smallest sisters. Seriously, if I had a genie's lamp, first wish, take me to this sideshow. Take me to this carnival. See Phantom of the Opera, haunted walkthrough, burlesque show right there. Yes, carnivals used to be the best thing in the world. Look at the Gravitron. Oh, Gravitron about killed me last time I rode it. This would be like a horse racing game. I think you would almost shoot balls like pinballs to make your horse move. They're all named after a different horse. Man-O-War, who's a real horse. There's Slick Chick. Some old cameras that would be used at the carnivals to take photos. Let's see, you could do photo ops like being in jail or being on an airplane, almost the precursor to the modern old-timey photos. Some old funhouse mirrors. This one makes me look fat. No, I guess that's pretty much how I look all the time. This is a motorcycle used in the classic Walls of Death. Motorcycle riders would ride up along the sides of the wall of a big cage. Authentic 1947 popcorn trailer. You see this gentleman making some popcorn for the fairgoers. Some classic carousel horses, and you can see bits of the carved design of the carousel. Looks like that is a carousel horse's foot. It's a billy goat right there that'd be on a carousel. See, there's actually really tiny little carousel horses. So this is one of the earliest carnival rides ever made. It's built in the late 1800s. It was pulled by a mule. This wood cart was pulled by a mule through a circus tent with murals of Ireland painted inside. It's like a one, I guess, maybe the original dark ride if you think about it. Wow, that was amazing. I had no idea how amazing that was going to be. That is an absolute gem. That is a top attraction in my book. No idea how much stuff was going to be in there. They had the old rides, the old ride vehicles, old games. They had that full-sized Ferris wheel, full-size carousel, just all aspects of the carnival, the traveling carnival, in this building. So definitely check it out here in Gibsonton, Florida. Definitely make sure you come when it's opened. The hours are limited, but it is an absolute treasure in here. So appreciate you guys watching. If you'd like to see other museums I've been to, other attractions, other amusement parks, check the interactive map in the description. It'll tell you where I've been, and you can make recommendations on where I should go next. If you'd like to help support the channel, consider buying a t-shirt, consider buying a pressed penny, and consider donating to Patreon. A $3 or more donation will get you a postcard once a month. But for now, this one's in the bag.